Hello, survivors. This is your girl, Abby Ayola Williams, and you're now listening to How to Survive Society. How to Survive Society is a weekly podcast that features survivors. These are people that have been through the ringers in life. They've been through hell and back, but they choose to stay positive, they choose to win, they choose to thrive, and they choose to survive. So let's get right into it. Hello, survivors. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of How to Survive Society. Today, I have Nico Lagan, and he is an entrepreneur, coach, podcaster, and author. He helps good men become great men.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and he runs multiple businesses from the road and with many employees. And he thinks that the body, mind, and soul / the spirit are all one, and we should treat it as one. So, Nico, please introduce yourself, and then we can get to the questions.
I don't think that there's a connection between the three. I know there is. So just to clarify that, it's not a thing. It is a thing.
Okay.
Introduce myself. Well, I think you did a pretty good job. I'm an entrepreneur, coach. Author. I just published my first book, and I'm writing my second actually. And I'm running 3 businesses from the back of my RV, which my girlfriend and I have been traveling the US for the past 6 months now.
Wow.
We are in Yuma, Arizona right now, which is at the border of California, Arizona, and Mexico.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agreed, absolutely. It's been an interesting last 6 months, and we're planning about doing it for another quite a few months. We're not sure when we're going to stop yet.
Mm-hmm. And when after you decide to do it for however long, would you consider maybe staying in one location, or this is something that you will continue regardless of anything?
The plan is the reason we started with this is that we weren't happy with Canada anymore. We wanted to see if there's a place in the US that we would want to live in. That's basically, we chose to just, let's explore the US and see the places that we like. And if it makes sense at that point, maybe we can apply for a visa or apply for something else. But we really started at just see all the places that we like. If there is, let's see from there. And there is a couple of places that we like in the US right now, like Tennessee's our favorite up to now. Tennessee's freaking awesome. But yeah, we are looking at that. But if we don't find what we're looking for, we might just go south or go overseas. We're not sure yet. We're just proving that nowadays, because of technology, you can pretty much work from wherever you want.
Anywhere. Yep.
As long as you have an internet connection, you can. Like I have 5 full-time employees, and they're not even in the same country as I am, and we deal with each other all the time. Like I just hung up. I just spent the last 1 hour and a half with my chief editor. So we can definitely, not only do they not even need to be in your country, they don't even need to be in the same time zone. You can work from anywhere now.
That's true. You're right about that. And I applaud you and your girlfriend for taking that chance and just traveling to see where you would like to be, because it's very important. Instead of just wishing about it, you actually taking steps and doing it. That's bravo.
Yeah, let's just say that I spent the last 3 years putting it together. Like I've dreamt about this for the past 10 years. Wow. I've put it together over the past 3, where I was working 120 hours a week to make it happen. I took all my savings, I refinanced my house, and I've invested everything into my 3 businesses. So right now, my 100% of my time is on building my businesses and growing my audience online, because it's attached to one of my business, like my production house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I do. That's all I do full time is invest the money that I've made over the past few years in as a sales engineer in the corporate world, and
Mm-hmm.
just I'm believing in myself so much that I'm ready to lose everything I worked for the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's, I mean, life, you gotta take chances. So
You have to.
you just
Nobody
never
else is
know.
going to do it for you.
Exactly. So kudos. So let's go back to your teenage years, right? You
Mm,
said you got into selling drugs and you were a former drug addict. So how, like, were your parents in your life at that time? How did that happen? Can you please elaborate a bit more?
well, my whole purpose, my life purpose is to help mentalist men. So men that do not have somebody to look up to. They could
Mm,
be boys, they could be young men, they could be adults, they could be older than me. Because as men, we always need mentorship. We always need to have people to follow in order to teach us the ropes, if you will, to make us better people. The best way to do it is through coaches and mentorship. So my purpose is that, and it all comes from the fact that when I was 14, my parents got divorced, my dad left, and I can count on one hand the amount of time that I saw him after he left. Like I saw him maybe 3 times, and he died in my late 20s, early 30s. So let's call it 30. So in about 16 years, I saw him less than 5 times, and one of those times was when he was dead. When I went to his funeral. So I grew up without, even when I was younger, my dad wasn't really present. Like he was always on the road. He was often outside of the city. So I didn't have a strong male figure. And when he left, within a year, I started doing drugs. I started looking for, I'm 41 years old. I grew up on the real rap, like the Mob Deep, the Wu-Tang, the Nas, all the real gangsters, not the wannabes that you see today, like the guys that come from nothing and somehow did something. So it was very inspirational for me to look at guys that sold drugs, that had women, that had money, that did not care about what people thought about them. And that to me was a real man. That because I had that lack of real mentorship of real men, I associated that with what a real man was. But I was 14 years old. What did I know? So I kind of molded their behaviors, and that's what I did. So before I knew it, I wasn't in school. Like by the age of 15, I wasn't in school anymore. I was selling drugs. I was an addict. I was an alcoholic. All I did was write rap songs, get high, drink, and sell drugs to support my habits. And I did that for 7 years until I was about 21 years old. And thank God that I was lucky enough never to get caught, because if I for all the stupid things that I did back then, from selling drugs to fighting, I've had an anger problem most of my life. Like it's something that's plagued my life, if you will. It's only over the past 10 years that I've really started to control it, but it never leaves you, right? It's a battle that I
mm,
have every day, but through temperance, I've learned to channel that aggressive behavior that I have and channel it into my creation, my businesses, my martial arts, my workouts. But
mm-hmm,
yeah, through that 7 years of exploring, let's say that, I found over the past few years, I found that my everything that I've done as a young man really culminated into what I am today. And this is why I'm so all I do now is help young men become better and older men become better, obviously, but just men. I want to be the mentor to them that I did not have growing up.
mm. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Because you're right. Men especially do need that
Mm,
positive reinforcement and mentors in their life, so they know
100%.
that the street life is not it.
Nope.
you know,
No,
it's
agreed.
either you die or you go to jail. Like
And you
you
look at
know,
today's society, this is pretty much what's happening, right? You see it
Yeah.
all the time, and it's unfortunate because a lot of the mistakes that I've done as a kid, I
Mm-hmm.
needed to make them for myself. Like, you need to make mistakes in life. You need to fail so that you can understand what it is to
Yeah.
be hit rock bottom, but then you rebuild
Mm.
from there. But there are certain mistakes, like going to jail is not a
Mm-hmm.
mistake that most people need to do. Like,
Yeah.
learn from the people that's been there. That I did a podcast a few weeks ago with a guy I met in church. Like, there's something, I was there first time at that church. There's something that was calling me to this guy. So I spoke to him after, and turns out he spent, I think it was 12 or 15 years in prison, and he was 45 years old. So he had spent half of his life, basically almost half of his adult life, in prison for doing very similar things to what I did. It's just he ended up doing it on a much larger level, like much larger scale than I did. But those are mistakes that you don't need to make. Like, with guys like him, I convinced him to start talking about his story, and now he's
Mm-hmm.
approaching schools in order to become a speaker, to talk to the people, to the Mexican community in El Paso, where
Mm-hmm.
he's from, to not
Mm-hmm.
make the same mistakes as him. So this,
Mm.
how you make a lot of mistakes when you're younger, but if you learn from those
Yes.
mistakes, maybe you can prevent other people from making those mistakes and learn by your example, basically.
Exactly. You're right about that. You're so
Mm.
right.
Yep.
So earlier I said you believe mind, body, and spirit slash soul
I don't
are
believe, I
one.
know.
But
It's not a
yes,
belief.
exactly. and then
Not a
you said,
belief.
I know it's not a belief. So
Yeah.
how do you know that it's one? And you said you do like meditation, visualization, and self hypnosis. So like, can you tell me how what that is?
Absolutely. I was watching a movie yesterday. I can't remember what the name is, but the guy said that we are not physical being going through a spiritual experience. Like, he meant by being on earth, we are not a physical being having a spiritual experience. We are an spiritual being having a physical experience. So basically what he's saying is that whatever you want to call it, your spirit, your soul, whatever's trapped into your body right now, your physical being, is
Mm-hmm.
temporary. Your soul is
Mm-hmm.
here to learn. We are not here to learn how to connect to our spirit. We are here to learn how to connect our spirit to our body. And you see it everywhere. One of the biggest issue I see in today's society is the fact that we treat our body like garbage. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we literally don't understand that if we do not treat our body with the respect that it deserves, as in exercising, as in eating properly, as in giving it the rest that it needs to operate at its full potential, your mind that is connected to your body, because your body supports your biggest payload, which is your mind. If you treat
Mm-hmm.
your body like garbage, there's no way that your mind will ever work the way it was designed. It will never work optimally. So you need to first understand that your body is the first step, but your body is connected to your mind. If you treat your body like garbage, your mind will automatically operate like garbage. So the first
Mm-hmm.
step is always to remember that we are here to live an experience. We are a spiritual being that is here to learn about what the earth has to offer. What do we have to learn from this? So first and foremost, we need to understand we are spirit in nature. We
Mm.
will live on after this. We've lived before, and we will continue to live once this body of ours is gone. How are we going to live? Well, that's where things get interesting, and we can touch on that if you want. But to answer
Yes,
your
please.
question, we do need to treat our body with the respect it deserves. We need to
Mm-hmm.
treat the mind with the respect that it deserves. Like, we live in a time where so many people are what they call depressed,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yes.
they have forgotten, or they don't know that there is a connection between how you treat your body, how your mind will operate, but there's also the spirit that connects both your body and your mind together. This is what holds everything together. So we we don't understand that our body is the vessel to allow our mind to operate, just like an engine in a car is what
Mm-hmm.
makes the car. You could have the
So,
best, the best mind on the planet, but if you could be the best driver on the planet, which is the equivalent of your mind, but your car is garbage, your car does not run well, it doesn't matter. You're never going to be able to achieve what you're trying to achieve because your body, which is your car, doesn't operate the way it should be. So we need to remember that all of those are connected. And if your body could be in the best shape of his life, you could be treated it with all the respect that it deserves, you could have the discipline to do what needs to be done on a daily basis. But if you don't understand that who you keep around you will define the way your mind operates, if you're surrounded by drama day in, day out, and that's all you know, your mind will be used to drama and it will be in a negative state all the time. We need to understand that the inner circle that we keep, the 5 people that are closest to us, define us as a person. What you read, if you don't read, or all you absorb as new information is what you read on social media or what you read on the news or the movies that you watched are extremely violent, don't be surprised that your mind is not healthy. Don't be surprised if you tend to be more negative because you surround yourself with negativity. If you never try to learn new skills, don't be surprised that your mind is clouded all the time, that every single time you're trying to do something, your mind seems to not want to operate. Of course not. You're not training it to become better. So we need to understand that we need to pay attention to our bodies. We need to pay attention to our minds. And you mentioned meditation. Meditation is what allows you to connect your body to your mind. When you meditate, when you start meditating, it's hard just to sit down. Your mind is racing, your body is racing. You don't have the self-control to get there, because you need, as men especially, we need to control our emotions. We need to make sure that our emotions do not control us. We are aggressive by nature. Like men that say that we're not aggressive are wrong. I am a very aggressive person by nature, but through the years of meditation, of self-understanding, of really knowing the type of person that I am and seeing all the mistakes that I've done in my life that were caused by me not controlling my aggressive nature, made me realize that I need to be tempered. I need to build temperance in order to have self-control. It is a lifelong battle that as a man I will have, but every day I choose to be good. Every day I choose not to be violent. Every day I choose to be the best man that I can be, because I know my nature is violent. Those are steps. So those are all part of what meditation has taught me. Once you're capable of simply sitting there and taking yourself for what you are, no judgment, whatever comes up to mind, let it come. Don't need to make judgment about it. Just try to understand why your mind or your subconscious mind is making you see those things. It also allows you to kind of find what I like to call your base levels. So, when you're very relaxed, you're in a very good mood, you just are. You are just in the present moment. This is your base level. And once you get used to that base level, and it only takes like 5 minutes a day to get used to that level. After a while, 5 minutes of just being with yourself, you understand what it is to be undisturbed, to be just normal. And then once you see something making yourself switch, let's say you're getting aggressive for some reason, you're getting mad at something, you're getting sad, you know what your base level is, so you can start noticing those shift in emotions. Oh shit, okay, hold on, why am I feeling this way right now? You get to learn to recognize those shift in emotions so that you can start stepping back and say, okay, hold on, Nick, what's going on here? Why am I not feeling the way I felt 5 minutes ago or 2 minutes ago or 15 seconds ago? What's going on? What's affecting my mood right now? Why am I letting this affect my mood? Maybe I'm supposed to take a step back and analyze what because right now I'm being frustrated. That person that's talking to me is not a nice person and I'm about to react. Maybe I should just take a step back and see what I'm supposed to do here. And this is all through meditation. You get to know yourself, you get to know your base level, and then you can learn to step back. And instead of just reacting to everything that happens around you, you can start taking responsibility for your reactions. Instead of them being unconscious, you make them conscious. So you have a decision making process that starts happening within yourself to say, you know what? this type of person irritates me. Why do they irritate me? Why am I getting angry at this? And then you can start analyzing what are your reactions to those situations, so that the next time that it happens to you, not only can you step back, but you can start taking smarter decisions by simply walking away from that situation, by simply saying, you know what, I don't need this. I can simply walk away and the problem is solved. So those are all
Wow.
things that through meditation you get to experiment, because I reflect on those, between you and I and whoever's listening, I reflect on those
Mhm.
situations all the time. Like you and I right now, I will reflect later on
Mhm.
in my meditation as to why did we meet? Why did we talk today? Was
Mhm.
I supposed to bring something to the equation? Did she bring me something? Like what was those
Mhm.
relationships? And I analyze all of those relationships. When you start being aware about your base level, you can
Mhm.
start now looking at the world in a way where nothing happens for by accident. Nothing in
Mhm.
this world happening by accident. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that everything happens to you for a reason, but it doesn't come with an instruction manual. Nobody's going to tell you why it's happening to you, but it is your
Mhm.
job as the spiritual being that you are to understand why are things happening to you and what is the learning lesson from those experiences. Why did you meet a specific person? Why did that person do that to you? What are you supposed to learn? There's always a learning lesson in everything in life. The
Mhm.
only reason that we don't understand this is that we're not paying attention. We're not aware. We don't have the awareness to look at the world as a whole. Just like our body, mind, and spirit are connected, the
Mhm.
world in which we decide to live in is all connected. If we take, let's assume that the big bang theory is real. Let's say that this is the best explanation that we have for the creation of the universe right now,
Mhm.
scientifically speaking. So let's
Yeah.
assume that it is true, that it is what happened. That
Mhm.
means that every single thing, living or not, in this universe started
Mhm.
from the same amount of material. That means
Mhm.
that you and I are connected somehow. Me and the
Mhm.
universe is connected somehow. You know the expression that says that if you want to get to know, by getting to know yourself, you get to know the
Yes.
universe, because we
Mm.
we are connected. And I'll push it even further. The first rule of thermodynamics says that the energy is never lost, but it is redistributed. What does
Mm.
that mean? If our spirit is made of energy, maybe that the Hindus from thousands of years ago that believe in reincarnation had it right all along, that the
Mm.
energy that makes our spirit is never lost, it is simply redistributed. What does that redistributed mean? Who knows? Until you die, you probably will never figure it out.
Mm.
But it is sent back to the universe. So are you being part of a whole afterwards? Are you regaining access to where you come from? Who knows? I believe so, but who
Mm.
knows? I can't prove it to you. But all I'm saying is when you start meditating on who you are, what affects you, and why are you experiencing those experiences at the point that you're going through them, you get to start asking yourself very deep questions as, what is my role here? Why was I put on this planet? Once you start understanding your purpose, your life purpose, why you here, what's the mark that you're going to leave on this world, you can start analyzing, where do I come from? And not as
Mm.
in my parents, as in as a spiritual being, where the hell do I come from compared to the universe? If I understand that the universe is where I come from, where the fuck,
Mm.
oh, sorry for my language, but where the hell did I come from? Where's my place as a human being, but where's my place as a spiritual being?
Yeah. Mm. Wow. That's really deep. So that when you meditate, you also visualizing, correct?
Of course, every day.
And then what is self-hypnosis? Like I do you put yourself to sleep or I'm just asking
Self-hypnosis. Yeah, no
for the
worries.
listeners so they
Yep.
can understand exactly what it is.
So meditating is letting your mind, I see meditating as letting your mind speak to you, learning the type of learning your base level, like I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first portion of what meditating is. Technically, visualization is a part of meditating too, but in a context where, look at some of the greatest some of the greatest Olympians, a guy like Michael Phelps, which has
Mm-hmm.
the most gold medals of any person that ever lived. That
Mm-hmm.
guy, since the age of 7 or 8, has been visualizing. So every night before he goes to bed, he visualizes the best swim that he can have the day after from
Mm-hmm.
everything. He analyzes and he recreates, he creates, because he doesn't recreate because it hasn't happened yet, but he
Mm-hmm.
imagines his best swim possible, and he feels the water on its skin. He can see the people that are there. He can feel everything. He knows what he's wearing. Like he's able to project himself into a future event, so that when he shows up to that event, he's already prepared. The
Mm-hmm.
samurais did the same thing in Japan. They were soldiers. They were people that chances are would die by the sword. They lived by the sword, so they understood that possibly they would die by the sword. But they
Mm-hmm.
visualized throughout their life, they would visualize every single way that they could die, thinking that once they were there, if they
Mm-hmm.
ever become in that situation, they'd be ready because they would be there. They had been there before. And visualization, I can't remember the name of the name of the experiment, but there was an experiment made in the US in one of the universities where a psychologist took a class of just regular people, that PE class. So they just went to physical activity. Turned out there was
Mm-hmm.
basketball, split them into three, and said, the first group for the next month, hold on. He made them do free throws. So here's an amount of
Mm-hmm.
free throws. We'll write down the success rate that you had. The first group, we're going to tell you for the next month, you do nothing. Don't touch a basketball. Don't worry about it. Just carry on with your life. Second group, we're going to ask you to throw free throws for 10 minutes a day. Third group, we're going to tell you to visualize for 10 minutes a day. All I want you to do is visualize what it looks like for you to sink that free throw. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
feel it, just like Michael Phelps does. They came
Yes.
back within a month. Obviously, nothing happened with the first group because they didn't practice. The
Yeah.
second group got better by 34%. So the people that
Mm.
practiced every day got
Yeah.
better. It's not surprising, obviously. But what's
Yeah.
interesting is that the third group that never touched a basketball, that just visualized, got better by 33%.
Wow.
So the professor slash psychologist showed that through visualization techniques, it's as you can be as successful within a percent by just practicing in your mind. So imagine if
Wow.
somebody does both, which I do every day. I
Mm-hmm.
visualize everything that I'm going to accomplish through visualization, and then I do it, and then I practice. So
Mm.
the placebo effect.
Yes.
The placebo effect has a rate of 33% of success. It is the exact same one as the professor showed in his visualization technique, because it is the same. You're taking a sugar pill, believing that it is a remedy that's going to cure you, and in
Mm-hmm.
33% of research, the placebo effect is always there.
Wow.
So imagine that you can train your mind to not only believe that what you're doing is real,
Mm.
but you understand that you as an individual have the power to make it happen. Because the people that
Mm.
do the placebo effect, they don't realize that
Yes, that's true.
it's just they believe in the medication so much, but remove that medication because technically it's useless. That medication is serving no purpose except to give you a tangible thing to hold on to, say, this is curing me. But it's not curing you. Your mind is. Your belief in yourself, your belief in that medication is what curing you. So instead of believing in the medicine, believe in yourself. Believe that you
Mm-hmm.
hold the power as an individual to cure yourself.
Mm.
Believe that in
Wow.
yourself that you are capable of achieving those goals.
Mm.
And this is where you can mix the visualization with self hypnosis. I have very well defined goals that I make happen every year, and I will repeat those goals in my head twice a day,
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
as in they're going to happen, as in they already happened. So
Happening.
through
Mm.
visualization, I've seen them happen, and every day
Mm-hmm.
I repeat to myself the goals. How long
Mm-hmm.
do I give myself to make them happen, and how I'm going to make them happen, so that I can finally use, because if you look at hypnosis, all it is they put something into your subconscious mind, and there
Mm-hmm.
is a bridge between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is the automation of your conscious mind. So the things that you don't need to concentrate on, like opening up a door, If the doorknob is at the right place on the door, you don't have to look at the door. You don't have to look at the doorknob. Your brain knows this is where the doorknob is, and it knows you
Mm-hmm.
want to cross that door. So next thing you know, you're on the other side of the door, and you don't even remember grabbing that doorknob because your subconscious mind automated that process a long time ago, and it doesn't want to
Mm-hmm.
bother you with the minutia of everyday life. You have other things to think about. But imagine that you can take a process that is conscious, like realizing my goals, and you
Mm-hmm.
can put it into your subconscious mind. You can put it into the automation portion of your mind so that
Yeah.
it does it for you. I don't
Mm.
really worry too much about how I'm going to accomplish my dreams
Mm-hmm.
because I'm telling on a daily basis, twice or three times a day, I'm telling my subconscious mind that this is what I want. Those
Yeah.
are those are what I'm ready to give away, because in order to gain something, you always have to be ready to sacrifice. I will
Mm.
give those things away. You figure out the steps. I don't have a day-to-day step on what I need to do in order to get to my goals. All I know is this is my goal. This is the time that I'm giving myself to do it. And those are the things I'm going to sacrifice in order to get there.
Mm.
You figure out, I have an idea of how I'm going to do it. But at the end of the day, my subconscious mind, I believe in the law of attraction, that by putting
Mm-hmm.
that in my subconscious mind, I tell the universe what I want, because again, I'm one with the universe. So the
Mm.
universe knows what I want and will put the proper people in my path for me to be able to get to my goals. But it is up to me to recognize that those people are there for a reason, that they are playing
Mm.
their part into what I call my personal legend, what my life purpose is. I need to be aware through meditation to recognize that those people are there. And once I
Mm.
do, they're just a part of my life. Maybe they're meant to make me better. Maybe I'm supposed to make them better. Maybe we're supposed to walk together on that journey of life for a little while, maybe for a long
Mm-hmm.
while, who knows. But it's all about being connecting everything together and being aware that what's going on in front of you is not what's going on in front of you is not just an accident, that there's purpose behind it. You have to do the work, you have to be aware, you have to do what needs to get done in order to make it happen. But
Mm-hmm.
awareness is the first step.
Mm. Wow. So let me say like an example to see if this
Yep.
is right. So let's say someone wants to make like 40,000 plus a week. So
Sure.
if you write it in your journal or if you have in your mind, do you say I make 40,000 plus a week or I will make 40,000 plus a week? Like which one is the right one
Dep-
for the visualization?
I can tell you that it depends on the person, because you have to. So you have to break it down into two things. So there
Mm-hmm.
is a portion of visualization which
Mm-hmm.
is attached to you achieving your goals. So let's say, and then you have what I like to call your motto, or your goal itself. So let's say that your goal, as you said, is to make 40,000 a week. So 40,000
Mm-hmm.
a week, I'm just going to bring a calculator here. So $40,000 a week times 52. So you're looking to make just over 2 million a year. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say that that's your goal. So let's say that um my goal, so I'll phrase it the way I normally phrase it. So
Okay.
I will have $2 million in my bank account by December 31st, 2023. This is my goal. This is
Mm-hmm.
what I want. You need something tangible, like saying that, oh, I want to be happy by the end of the year. Doesn't work that way, because it's not tangible.
Mm-hmm.
And being happy is a state of mind. You can be happy today. You don't need to wait a year for that. But that's why goals are great when they're tangible. It's something that you can hold, because happiness is a state of
Mm-hmm.
mind. You can't say
Mm-hmm.
that I am or not happy. It depends on the day. But if you can easily open your bank app, sorry, and say, oh yeah, I do have 2 million in my bank account. There's no lying there. You either do or you do not.
Mm-hmm.
The second part, if you heard me, is I will have $2 million in my bank account. So where am
Mm-hmm.
I looking for confirmation? And you need to attach a date to it. So
Mm-hmm.
my goal is to have 2 millions in my bank account. This is where I'm going to go to confirm that I achieve or not my goal. And by the end of the year, one of the biggest mistakes that we do is to put a very loose time.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that I will have $2 million in my bank account is not enough. You need to put an exact timestamp on it. And not only do you need to have an exact timestamp on it, but you need to make sure that it's urgent. You need to be scared by your goals. Like when you look at that goal, you need to know in your head that if you do not work on it every single day until that day, you will not be able to achieve it. It needs to scare you. My goals scare the hell out of me. Like I look at them, I'm like, ooh, that's going to be a challenge. But if I don't make it a challenge, where's the discipline? Where is why would I do make it happen if it's such a loose goal? So let's say that then you will say, okay, this is my goal. I'm going to make it happen this way. This is my goal and this is the timestamp that I have. Perfect. Once you have that, this is your first part. Then you have to say, you have to put some steps into how am I going to make it happen? So let's say that your goal is to make 2 millions and you're somebody that renovates house and buys houses. You know that on average, this is why reverse engineering your goals is extremely important. So let's say that what you do for a living is buy houses, renovate them, and then sell them. You know that on average you make about 50 grand per house. So if your goal is to make 2 millions, you divide it by 50 grand. So that means you need to renovate 40 houses that year. So you're going to say, I will have $2 million in my bank account by December 31st, 2023. In order to make this happen, I will buy, renovate, and resell 40 houses. This is how you're going to do it. Then the third step is to list all the things that you will have to sacrifice. Because in order to have something, you always have to give something back. There's always, nothing happens to you without you sacrificing. A lot of the time, it's time. Most of the sacrifices that I make is when everybody's partying, everybody's on vacation, everybody still sleeping, everybody is watching Netflix. I'm working. This is my sacrifice. This is a sacrifice I make every day. I work. Yesterday and the day before, I did not feel well at all. I still worked 4 or 5 hours every day, even though I didn't feel well, because this is the minimum I could do that day, and I knew it. So I still worked my minimum in order to make sure that I never fall behind. But this is my sacrifice. My sacrifices right now are time. And I will keep my eyes on the prize. I will continue doing what I'm doing, and I will do what other people won't. This is my this is the last portion of my goal right now, is exactly that. Those are my sacrifice that I make every day. So what's your goal? What's your timestamp? How are you going to prove that it happened by that timestamp? How do you think you're going to make it happen? And you don't need to know. See, what I'm saying that, oh, I'm going to sell 40 houses. This doesn't say that every single day you're going to be looking at realtor.com in order to find good opportunities for a house. You're going to be analyzing all the proper neighborhoods on which no. You don't need to be that specific. Just know that this is your goal. This is my timestamp. How do I think I'm going to achieve it? And what am I going to sacrifice to achieve it? Those are the 3 steps. But every day, the first thing I do when I wake up, I remind myself this. Every day before I go to bed, I put that in my head. So this is the self-hypnosis. This is what I repeat to myself. Look at marketing. Look at a commercial that's a good commercial. They will repeat the name of whatever they're selling to you a bunch of times. The telephone number, by the end of the commercial, you'll know it. Why? Because they're using hypnosis on you. They're repeating the same thing over and over and over again, just like the news does, for you to believe it. You don't even need to understand that it's right or wrong. Just the fact that they keep on telling you, you'll start believing it. Same thing as self-hypnosis. Repeat it to yourself so many times that your subconscious mind knows what you want. And the day that, because at the beginning, your goal, your motto, your self-hypnosis, you'll need to repeat it, and you need to read it from a piece of paper. You'll need to read it in order to remember what it is. But after a week or two, you know it by heart, and you say it with conviction. And I tell people to say it out loud, because I'm so used to doing this that I don't need to say it out loud anymore, because I know it. But a lot of people, when they begin, start telling yourself, because your ears need to hear it. It needs to sound crazy. It needs, because most people will never do this. So it is crazy for you to keep on telling yourself that you're going to do something, have a method on how you're going to do it, and you have a timestamp on how you're going to do it. Is crazy, because 99% of people will not do that. So it is crazy. Say it out loud and be proud to be crazy, because that means you're different, and that means you will go for what you want. So Imagine that you understand the connection between your body, mind, and spirit. So you know
Mm-hmm.
that by repeating to yourself, your body and your mind and your spirit will find ways for you to accomplish your goals. And
Mm-hmm.
then once you self-hypnosis every day, you can start visualizing it. So right after you say what my goal is, imagine having that goal. Imagine opening up your banking app, clicking on your username, password, click
Mm-hmm.
submit, you open your bank account, and there's $1 million right there. How do you
Mm-hmm.
feel? What color is your phone? Where are you sitting right now? What's the temperature like outside? How does it smell outside? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is there a smell in the air that you can smell? Are you with somebody else? Is there
Mm-hmm.
something else? What chair are you sitting on? And you at your desk? Where are you? What time of the day is it? Like, you can start putting all of those little things together and start telling your body, telling your mind, telling your spirit how exactly you're going to feel once you're there. And this is called NLP, like neuro linguistic programming.
Mm-hmm.
You're anchoring something into your subconscious mind to say, not only do you know what I want, I've told you how I wanted it, I even told you when I wanted it. Now I'm telling you exactly how I'm going to feel when I make it happen.
Mm. Wow. Wow. Thank you for breaking down the visual visualization process, because
Yeah.
a lot of people do talk about this, but they never broke it down the way that you're breaking it down. So that's
Oh, no, they will, but
yes.
you need to pay for it. No, but it's true. No, but it's true, because think about it. I say this in my book.
Mm,
If you convince people, or you teach people if you prove to people that they're powerful beyond measure,
mm-hmm,
that, okay, let me give you this example. I'm not a religious guy, but I do go to church every now and then. I like to speak about religion. I like to speak about faith, but I have
mm-hmm,
faith. I have
mm,
faith in myself. I have faith in others. And I have faith that there's something greater than us all that created all of this. Call it God, call it the universe, call it nature, doesn't matter to me. But there is something greater than me.
mm-hmm,
If I start telling people that in the Bible it says that Adam was made from God, so that
mm-hmm,
means that if I was made by God, or if I was made from God, that means that I am God.
mm,
If you start telling that to a Christian, he's going to look at you and say, you're a lunatic, like you're crazy. That's heresy. But as a spiritual person, I speak to God every day. I don't need a church in between myself and God to speak to God. I have my
mm-hmm,
own relationship with God. And the day that I realize that I'm connected to him, that I can talk to myself and it's talking to God, everything changed in my life. Is that the
mm,
reason why? I would say so. But the point is that if a guru or a coach or a mentor starts explaining to you that every single thing that you need in order to become whatever it is that you want to become, you can do it with simple techniques. As a coach, all I want to do is to show you how to fish. I don't want to give you a
mm,
fish every day. I want to
mm,
give you the tools so that you don't need me anymore.
mm,
This is how I know that I've helped you, is the day that you say, hey, bro, thank you, but I don't think I need you anymore.
mm,
You've shown me what I needed to know. But business is about making money, and people don't want that. They want addicts. They want
mm,
people that are there. They're always returning for more, because that's how you make money.
mm.
So
Wow.
you always got to be careful about, I'm just the idiot that will share that information with people for as part of my coaching, or even for free. It's fine, because either way, I didn't invent this. All the information, everything that's ever been created is already out there. It doesn't belong to anybody. It's
Mm,
just there. I just found a way to put it into words that resonates with you. But
mm,
did I invent this? Oh, hell no. People have been doing this for way before I was born, and they'll continue doing way after I'm dead. So it doesn't
mm,
belong to me.
mm. Wow. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you teaching the listeners and helping them, so I'm really happy that you did that.
You're
So
gonna have to give me this, by the way. If is it possible you send me this, because I've never explained it. I've never had the
of
chance to
course,
explain it in this way before.
of course I can. I will do that. So
Awesome.
before we do go, so
Yep.
how can people reach out to you? How can they buy your book? How can they support you?
You can find me on YouTube at Nico Lagan. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Real Nico Lagan. My right now, if you go on Amazon, you can buy my ebook. You can buy my I had a narrator narrate my book. He's freaking incredible. But it's on the, you just Google, you just put in Nico Lagan and you'll find my book. I just approved the book itself. Like I got the first copy yesterday of the actual book, and I approved it. I'm going to approve it this morning. So by the end of the week, everything's going to be available there. You can get the book. And yeah, Real Nico Lagan on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Nico Lagan on YouTube.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I
Absolutely.
really
Thanks for having me.
appreciate your lessons, your tips, everything. Like, thank you so much.
Thanks for letting me speak about this. Most people don't ask me about this. They ask me about the man rights stuff that I do every day. They don't really care too much about the spiritual aspect of things.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I really appreciate the chance to do it. Thank you.
Big thank you to our guest for today. And if you would like to learn more about today's topic, please go on howtosurvivesociety.com. There you can get some life skills courses and some merchandise, and contact me if you would like to be a guest on the show. So thank you so much for tuning in, and have yourself a lovely day.